Hi, good evening. Hello. I'm going live on two platforms. I'm going to be on Instagram and TikTok. Hi. Hello. Hi. Okay, so I'm giving a few more minutes for some of my people from Instagram to come on. Okay. How's everybody doing? Thank you for following me. Hopefully you're learning a lot with the stuff I post on TikTok. This is my first time going live on TikTok. Hi, Instagram. So I'm on two platforms on multiple devices. I'm on Instagram and TikTok. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. Hi. So what I'm going to be talking about tonight is, I want to say, how am I saying it? It's like being really organized. Excuse me. Sorry. Let me grab some water. Wow. Sorry, guys. Okay. So I want to talk about being more organized in our businesses, right? So, hi, Instagram. Okay. So now, what I want to say is, right, okay, when we're running a business, you want to be operating efficiently. So let me say that, okay? Operating efficiently is extremely important. Now, I can see some of you, so I want to say, like, all right, first let's talk about your business EIN, okay? So some of you can comment because I can see. Hi. Do you already have like your business EIN? That's something you should have. Like these things that I'm going to go over, because I have a list here. I'm going to go over a list of things that you really should have like ready. And for those of you who are just joining me, hello, I'm on two devices. So you're going to see me I'm on TikTok and I'm also on Instagram. So you're going to see me looking at different screens, okay? So one of the first things you want to make sure you have is your business EIN, because when you don't have your business EIN, that means you're operating with your social security number. Now, I don't know how many of you are still like a sole proprietorship. Hopefully you're an LLC. Maybe y'all can comment below and say which one you are, if you are an LLC or if you're a sole proprietor. Okay. Yeah, because when you're handling business out here, a lot of times you have to give out your business information and you don't want to be giving out your social security number, right? So you want your EIN. Okay. Now, if you are an LLC, again, these are things I'm going to be mentioning that you should have like readily available at the drop of the dime. Okay. Now, if you're an LLC, you should have your articles of organization. Okay. And what I want to tell you is that you really should have something called, like I'm calling it like, I want to call it like a digital corporate book. Okay. Where it's just really that you're having everything digitally stored, like in one file, right? Because the old fashioned way, like if we had a corporate book, you'd have this binder and you'd have all of these legal things in there. And even when you're, just a single member, you should be operating like this. So, right, who has that anymore, right? So just do it digitally. So you should have stored in your cloud space. You should have your EIN letter from the IRS, okay? You should have your articles of organization if you're an LLC. Now, what I want to say, right, is that if you are still operating as a sole proprietorship, you're kind of doing yourself like an injustice. And let me say that. First of all, you're making it nearly impossible to like build business credit when you're a sole proprietor. That's first of all. Another big thing is that you are not, your business name is not protected. So if you're out here consulting with a client, and what the client said to me was that they never thought about becoming an LLC because they didn't really have a lot of assets. So they didn't really feel that it was necessary. Okay, so, but it is if you want to protect your name. So it's not really just about the assets, it's also about name protection. Okay, so that's the other thing. Now, what did I say? Okay, so it's also impossible to build business credit. Okay, also if you're a high income earner, you're losing tax advantages by not being an LLC, because when you're an LLC as a high income earner, you get to have your LLC taxed like an S corporation. Okay, and that's when you get an opportunity to like issue yourself a W-2, issue yourself a salary, and that becomes tax deductible to your LLC. So, there's pros and cons to everything. I'm not going to sit here and say that, LLC is the end all say all, but what I am saying is that there's pros and cons to everything. And if you're a high income earner, you probably are like paying too much in self-employment tax. Okay, so that's another thing. Now back to the information that you should have in your like digital corporate book, whatever you want to call it. Your entity information from the Secretary of State. Again, I'm going off of if you're an LLC, hopefully. And if you're planning on becoming an LLC, you should still make this list, because this is what you need to have in order. Okay. And if you are planning to become an LLC and you're not an LLC yet, you should definitely check out my LLC course, because you can do it all yourself, honestly. Okay, you can set yourself up, and I drop so many jewels and gems in that LLC course, and it's just amazing. Okay, not only do I walk you through how to set yourself up as an LLC, I take you through how to pay yourself as an LLC. I talk about taxes. So I go through a lot of things in there, okay? And I also let you know a lot of ways that you can save money before you even become an LLC, because there's a lot of costly mistakes that people make when they do that. So you should definitely check out my course. And if you're on Instagram, when you go to the link in my bio, you can see my course. And I don't think I haven't figured out, I'm still figuring out TikTok, guys. So I haven't quite figured out how to put my course up there. But if you message me, I'll send you the link. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Now, you should have your entity information from the Secretary of State. Okay, now what that is when you go to the Secretary of State, you just look up your entity, right? Just do a search, right? And then when you do that, you should like print that page, like that information, because that's going to have like your ID number with the Secretary of State. See, a lot of, well, I'll say like most business owners, right? They don't really understand that there's so many different ID numbers you're going to have. It's a lot. It's not just your EIN. So you have a totally different number with the Secretary of State, and you should know that number. Okay. You should have that information. I don't know if any of you was getting like PPPs, EIDL loans and things like that, but when all of that funding was coming out, they were looking you up on the Secretary of State. Okay. And so you want to make sure all of that is up to date. And speaking of up to date, if you change stuff like your address and things like that, you need to update. Not only do you need to update the IRS, right, under your EIN number, you need to also update the Secretary of State. Okay, especially like if you're somebody who's going to be looking to establish business credit, you don't want your information not matching up. Okay, things have to match up. That's very important. Okay, another thing that you should have readily available in your digital corporate stuff is your business license, if you're required to have one. Okay, as I do consultations and as I do coaching, I'm realizing that a lot of people don't understand there's a difference when you apply to become an LLC versus when you have a business license. They're not the same thing. So I'm starting to realize that a lot of people are getting that confused. Okay, when you set up your LLC, that's just your entity registering with the state, but that is not your business license to do business. If your industry requires you to have a license, you need to get it. You need to get it. You need to have your business license, especially like if you're doing like a wholesale, drop shipping or some type of online business or whatever. That's what your wholesale license is, okay? Your business license and your wholesale license, they're kind of like one and the same. That enables you to collect sales tax in your state, to do business in the state. So do your homework, guys. If you need a business license, get it, because it's different from your LLC. Now, speaking of which, now we're talking about sales tax ID number, okay, which is different from your EIN. I remember when I was working on someone's taxes, okay, and when I asked for their EIN, they gave me their sales tax ID number, and I'm like, that's not your EIN. And they didn't understand that there was a difference. So all this time, they thought that the sales tax ID number was the EIN, and it wasn't. So you got to have that number in hand, okay? Also, you should have your DUNS number, okay? If you're not sure what that is, you can just really Google DUNS, but it's really good if you're planning to establish business credit, okay? You do need your DUNS number. Those are like some core things that you should have as an LLC owner. Your EIN, you should have your DUNS number, okay? Definitely a business bank account. Did I get to? No, I didn't get to that yet, but I'll get to that. Okay. Now, another thing you want, so you get your DUNS number. It's free to get your DUNS number, and it's good to have if you want to establish business credit. You can do so much with business credit. Like the other day, I posted on Instagram that I bought my tax deductible toy, which was my MacBook Air that I'm looking on this screen now, right? So yeah, I used business credit to buy this, and so that was cool. And it's a tax deduction. It's a tax write-off. Like if you're spending a lot of money giving it to the IRS, that means you're not spending enough in your business. Okay. Go buy more stuff because it's tax deductible. All right. So I went over the DUNS number. Now, what you should also have in your cloud space, whatever, and just all in one unified system to stay organized, okay, is your account numbers for your payment processors. Okay, depending on what kind of business you are, most of us should have payment processors, like if you're with PayPal or if you're with Square or what's another one, Stripe. Like there's a lot of them out there at this point. So you should have those account numbers in place and know who your payment processors are. Okay, that's super important. Let's see. Now, let's say if your industry requires you to be registered with the Department of Health, okay? Like if you're a home chef or if you're a caterer or if you're a food truck, okay? You're required to be registered with the Department of Health, and they also are going to give you a number, okay? They're also going to give you a number. So all of that information you should have, okay? Make sure you're registered, and make sure you find out if you're required to be registered with them, because these are the kind of situations that you will get shut down for. None of these places want to hear, I didn't know. They just don't want to hear that, okay? Now, what else? Okay, your state wage withholding identification number. Now, what that is, if you have employees, if you have people working for you, even yourself, okay, remember I said earlier that if you're an LLC and you tax yourself as an S Corp, I know I may be throwing a lot of terms around, but if you're not really sure what that is, you can do some research. You can also book me for a consultation, and I'll answer all your questions. But what that is if you're going to have employees, including employing yourself, as a W-2 wage worker, you need to be registered with your state to collect, to withhold state taxes from the wages that are paid. Okay, so that's important that you have that too. Now, depending on what type of situation you have going on, you may also need workman's compensation, which is another identification number. Okay, so this is what you also need to have. And now some places are actually requiring that, even though a lot of us are working from home and having our home businesses and home offices, some of them are still saying you're required to have workman's comp. I don't know, but you have to check with your state. And if you're required to have it, you need to do so. Okay. Now, another thing you should have on hand, if you don't have employees, some of us actually have independent contractors working for us. Okay. And if you do, each time you're getting ready to have an independent contractor work for you, not only should you be making sure they sign some kind of agreement, also to establish the arrangement between you, you should definitely get a W-9 form filled out. And you should be having those W-9 forms on file, again, in this whole cloud space situation. Okay, the W-9 form is like, think of it like this. When you went to work for an employer and you filled out that W-4 form, well, a W-9 is similar in a sense that you get to collect their name or the business name they're operating under. You get their address, you get their social security number or their EIN, and then they sign. And the reason why you want that, right? You want that W-9 form is because, first of all, if they decide to not do business with you anymore and they want to ghost you or something, and you don't have that W-9 form, you're not going to be able to issue the 1099 form at the end of the year, which you would want to use that. You would want to issue it because when you have people working for you that you're outsourcing work to them or whatever, it's a subcontractor position, you want to be able to always have your supporting documentation. So when you have that W-9 form, you can issue them the 1099 at the end of the year, whether they stayed with you for the year or not. At least you have the information, you issue it, and that's that. Okay, another thing you should have is your organized list of vendors that you regularly work with. Okay, for whatever your fulfillment needs are, you should always know who your vendors are and who you're working with, and usually you have account numbers with them too. Business financial statements. Okay, a lot of small business owners don't realize how important this is. Your profit and loss reports are extremely important, and how you get to populate those profit and loss reports is when you have bookkeeping in place. Okay, you do that, and your profit and loss reports you should be running quarterly. We're in May now, but you should have already ran your first profit and loss for Q1. Okay, what are you bringing in? What are you spending? And this is how you get to show yourself if you're overspending in some areas. If you're not tracking and categorizing properly or outsourcing that to a professional or whatever, you're just mismanaging money. You're missing out on opportunities. And so you definitely want to be running those quarterly. And then I also suggest mid-year and then end of year. Okay, and the end of year one, that's the one you're usually going to turn over to your accountant or your tax professional, or if you're going to do it yourself, if you're doing your own taxes, which you shouldn't be if you're a small business owner, but to each his own. If you are, that's okay, but have your profit and loss statement ready. Okay, so let's see what else I have here. Yeah, that's it. That's kind of, I want to say that's the short list, but I think I covered a lot. So this is how you're going to be as organized as you can. Okay, and what I was saying earlier was making sure you have that business bank account. You really need several bank accounts. When I'm coaching people, I'm also telling them, having multiple accounts is good. Like, let me give you an example. I booked a trip today. I'm going away in a few weeks. And so I had money put aside. I call it like a PTO, paid time off. We're self-employed. We have our own business. There is no employer paying us a vacation when we leave, right? So you have that separate bank account for that purpose, paid time off, PTO. And then you can use it to pay yourself when you're on vacation, or to, because you had money put away to go for your flights, your hotels, anything like that. And speaking of which, since I'm on the topic of travel, we as business owners, we get to write our travel off. Okay. That's where you can strategize with, these are the little hidden secrets. You learn how to turn a lot of things that you're doing every day into business expenses. Okay, so for example, a lot of my friends are my clients. So when we go away, that's I'm going away with clients. Okay, I'm going away with clients. Sometimes, and if you're a rental property owner and you have property in another state and you're going to visit that state, or even in another island, you going to check on your property. Okay, that becomes a tax deductible travel. Okay, if you're going to another location to meet with vendors, to talk with vendors, that's also tax deductible. So it's all about knowing how to use what you're doing every day to convert it into an expense. Like when I go out to eat with my daughters, that's a business write-off, 100%, because they're giving us 100% meal deductions for 2021 and 2022. For 2021 and 2022. And the reason why I said that's 100% deductible, both of my daughters are my clients, okay? So when we go out to eat, I'm taking my clients. We're talking about business, okay? So this is how you strategize. This is what you do. And this is the importance of having like a professional like me. I do business coaching beyond taxes. I've scaled so much with everything I'm doing now, which is why I'm offering business coaching. Business coaching, I was always doing business coaching, but I never really grasped that that's what I was doing, because I was helping my small business owners market themselves better, zone in on their target market, learn how to market efficiently to their target market, brand themselves better. I was already doing all of that, helping them implement systems to streamline what they're doing in their business. But I just didn't really understand that I was coaching. So now I'm officially coaching. Okay. So if you want to run your business more efficiently, if you feel like you're an inexperienced entrepreneur, because that's the other thing too. I was thinking about these people. Maybe a lot of you have heard of the Great Resignation, right? A lot of people were quitting and they were all frustrated and realizing how unhappy they were with their job and things like that. So a lot of people did this Great Resignation thing. And then the next thing you know, I was just recently reading that some of them are saying they regret it, or they want to go back. And I'm wondering, what is that? And I think I want to speculate, because I actually spoke to a few people who was sort of kind of part of that. But what they were expressing is that some people were expressing like they didn't really understand. They had no idea what being a business owner was about. Entrepreneurship over these past years, like I've been an entrepreneur for 17 years, self-employed 17 years, okay? It's no joke, all right? It's so many parts to it. But anybody can be an entrepreneur, but not everybody can or should be. And I think that's where a lot of them fell short, because, you can be good in your space and that's fine, but it doesn't mean you know how to properly and efficiently run a business. There's so many parts to it. So that's why you usually need a coach at that point, or at least get yourself booked with a couple of consultations. If you're not really ready for like high level coaching, that's fine. But don't just go around here being like this inexperienced entrepreneur and then feeling like you want to give up. Like, no, don't ever give up. Okay, I'm here 17 years later. Don't ever give up. Okay, I just wouldn't personally go back for nothing in the world. I love having control of my own time. To me, time means more than money, because you can always get more money, but you can never get back more time. Okay, so let me see if anybody has any questions. Now, I'm still learning this TikTok. Y'all gotta bear with me a bit, because this was my first time going on TikTok. I'm seeing these tips up here. I don't know if some of you gave and I didn't say thank you. I'm saying thank you because I'm still learning it. Don't judge me, okay? And so does anybody have any questions? Because I'm probably going to sign off. But I thank you all for watching, and I'm going to try to come on more often and talk about things to help you all. And if y'all want to message me with topics that y'all want me to talk about, I will gladly do that. Make sure you go to my YouTube My YouTube channel is packed with so much valuable information there. And I'm really excited because I just hit 4,000 subscribers over there. So that was amazing. Okay. And speaking of YouTube, are all of you on YouTube? Because I hope you are. You know, I joined YouTube back in 2019. And I really was getting on there to do what I'm doing now because I just love pouring into people. I love educating people. I'm very passionate about making sure people, thank you, don't have this misinformation, since we want to talk about misinformation, right? That's such a hot word now. So that's why I got on YouTube. I was never going on there with the intent of becoming like this YouTuber. And I still don't consider myself a YouTuber. I'm just I call myself a business guru now because I'm like well versed in so many things. And all them graphics y'all see, I do my own stuff. Okay, I do all my own stuff. So, but I'm just saying to say, yeah, if you're not on YouTube, get on YouTube. Because, oh, thank you. Somebody over here on Instagram said my videos are so informational. So, yeah, so if you're not on YouTube, get on YouTube. Because one thing I will tell you, you can be the best at whatever it is you do. You can have the greatest product in the world. But if not enough people know about you and know about it, you have no business. Okay, and so YouTube is giving us a way to let people know about, I don't even care if you're an online boutique, if you're a barber, if you're a makeup artist, if you're a painter, like whatever it is you do, music production, please get yourself on YouTube because you never know who's looking for what it is you have to sell. And just constantly put content out, okay? Think of things, go look on similar channels like yours and get some ideas on what to put up, okay? And eventually you can get to the point where you're at the minimum number of subscribers and the watch views, and you can get monetized because I definitely get my YouTube checks every month, okay? So, which is an additional income stream, and I'm very big on that, additional income streams and multiple streams of income. Relying on one source of income is so dangerous, guys. It's so dangerous, okay? There's so many things you can do. I have courses now, which has also created another income stream. I'm working on more courses because I have so much I want to teach the masses from my method. A lot of people tell me they love how I teach because I make things so, the way that I explain it, like I don't explain things complicated. I just make it very easy to understand, okay? So, yeah, courses are great. Whatever it is you know how to do, make a course. You can teach someone how to do it, okay? And make sales from it. A lot of times, I wake up, check my email. It'll say you made a sale, you made a sale. And when I tell you that money that you make while you sleep hits different, okay? So I'm giving you all some ideas. My YouTube name, if you search in the search bar, Entrepreneur Help Desk, you'll see my channel come up, okay? And honestly, one of the quickest ways to find me, because my video is like top number. As soon as you go to YouTube, try it tonight. Go to YouTube and start typing in how to file, because you're going to be asking like how to file business taxes for the first time. But as soon as you start typing how to file, my video is going to pop up, okay? Because speaking of which, I do have a course on how to file taxes for the first time as a self-employed person. Okay, so I think that's why it's so popular. But I did a YouTube video and I was promoting my course. So yeah, that's what you guys have to do. Okay, marketing, marketing, marketing. And if you want to get in coaching with me, let me know, because I want to help you all. If you're not where you want to be, I want to help you get to the other side of that. I used to be where you are, and I'm so happy I never gave up. And I've learned so much, and I'm coming so far, and I still got more to go. I haven't put this up yet, but I actually got booked for a special event. I'm going to be speaking to a group of entrepreneurs later on this year in Vegas. So this is going to be a new thing for me. I've spoken before, but never to this amount of people. So it's very, you know, it was a great opportunity that came my way. So I'm like looking like now, like, wow, might even go into public speaking, you know? So that's amazing. A great opportunity kind of fell in my lap. So you just never know what's out there in your space. Okay. So I thank you all for watching. And did you say, oh, how do you do the live? I just went on here and I looked on this TikTok thing, and I said go to post, and then it showed me I could like select live, so I swiped over. But yeah, go live sometimes, like, and I got the nerve to say that when I don't hardly ever go live. I hardly ever go live, honestly. But I need to start doing it more because you know, I see that a lot of people are very interested in what I have to say. So, yeah, so I thank you all so much. And again, remember to send me messages depending on what you want to talk more about. Okay? Y'all all have a good evening while I try to end these lives. Don't laugh. Okay? I'm going to look kind of crazy trying to turn these off. Y'all all have a good evening, all right? And thank you for watching. How do I turn this one? You see? I said that was going to happen. I'm much more familiar with doing it for Instagram. Wow. Okay. This is crazy. I don't know how to end this. Wow. Oh, I think I figured it out. Lord Jesus. Don't laugh, guys. I'm still learning how to do this.